Kirsten Watson, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Brandon. Hope you're well. Dave Roberts mentioned that you looked really healthy yesterday in the pen. How are you feeling this spring training?
I feel really healthy. Yeah, so far so good. Took all of last season off. I shut it down in April when I was still trying to hang on like that for a few weeks, but took the entire summer off. Good for the mind, body, and soul. So I came back in October and got after it, and feeling really good so far.
You're in a unique position this year, and it's been mentioned that there's a potential plan to build you up as a leverage reliever. But what type of impact can you have on this team?
Well, I hope to have the same impact I did before. I mean, I'd obviously love to get back to the form that I was in 17 and in 18 before I got hurt. I feel like I definitely still have it in me if my body's cooperating. And like I said, so far, so good.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Next question from Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. Good to see you.
Thanks. I can't see you, but good to see you again.
I was going to ask you, the last image Dodger fans had of you was how great you were in 2017. Did you feel like the way you emptied the tank in that postseason may have had a residual effect on the last couple of years?
It's hard to tell. I went into camp in 18 feeling really good and had a really, really strong first half of the season. I didn't really start feeling really bad until probably the week leading into the All-Star break. And obviously that was the last time I pitched was the last 2 days leading in the All-Star break. But, I pretty much just rolled it over from 17 to 18 and kept that same thing going through my first 30 innings or whatever it was. But it's hard to say. You never know. It's just a cumulative effect of everything, and hard to say.
I was going to ask you as well. How did this all come about? Was it something you pursued to land here, or did you feel out of all your options, since the Dodgers know you better than most, it was the best spot?
Andrew reached out really early. I was released in July at some point, I think, and not too long after that, I got a text message from him just kind of saying, I'd love to have me back. And whenever I felt like I was going to be healthy and if I needed some more time, then, at that point to let him know. But I had an offer very, very early to come back. And so I put my eye on it and started working out about October 1st and really getting after it, trying to do all I could. And, I hope it pays off.
Does this feel similar to that 17 spring training where you had to prove yourself, even though you did have certain guarantees? Does it feel anywhere close to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably very similar. I'd say coming off of surgery, although the year prior I did have some appearances out of the bullpen for the Padres, but coming in, obviously nothing guaranteed. I've been in that situation a few times and didn't work out for me in spring training. Although I threw really well, it didn't work out for me coming out of spring training in 17. But it was obviously to able to keep it going and make an impact when I did get up.
Thanks, Brandon.
Next question from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, you said you shut it down last year. It's a long time. Baseball players usually don't get summers off. What did you do? I know the world was kind of shut down, but what did you do?
It was great, man. We're really lucky to have a home up in the mountains, so we took it up there. Escaped. I live here in Scottsdale, so escaped the heat. I stayed all of 2019 down here rehabbing, so we needed to just get out of town and was able to take my mind off it and pretend I was retired, be a dad. It was a really good summer.
Did you always want to come back? There was no doubt about that.
Early on, I would say it may have been 50-50. It was definitely obviously dependent on how I was going to feel in the fall and winter. But the closer it got to the fall, you start getting the itch a little bit. And then when we got home, like October 1st, playoff baseball starting, and it really hit me like the time off did really good to reset, the grind of rehab and doing that for 2 years basically. And the physical grind, my body felt really good, really ready to start working out again. And, I think the summer off did me a lot of good, and I'm feeling really, like I said, really strong right now.
When you're here in spring training throwing these bullpens, what are you looking for? Do you sense that you're back to what you were, maybe the spring of 2017, or is that more of a ramp up and you're still trying to get there?
It's hard to tell so far. I mean, you're obviously worried that things aren't going to come back, but I've been trying to ramp it up gradually. I started throwing, 1st of December, so I was able to give myself a long time to build up my arm strength. And I probably had 9 or 10 bullpens coming into spring training, very, gradual build up with those. And then, I felt pretty good yesterday with uniform on and some of the brass behind you. You get a little more adrenaline running, so I felt pretty good yesterday. Surprisingly, I felt really good, like locked in mechanically. And to my eyes, the ball's coming out, the same as it would be in any other healthy spring training.
And then obviously a lot was made of, that 17 World Series, what happened, what came out. It's been a year now, right? Year and a half, whatever it was. Watching the Dodgers win the World Series last year, how was that? Did you feel for them anymore? Because knowing, what you went through with them, and then all the news that came out afterwards about the Astros.
Yeah, definitely. I was pulling for them the whole way. I'm really happy for all the guys that, lost in 17 and lost in 18, and, the heartache. I was there for 17, and then I can't imagine, going through it again in 18, and then, really happy for all those guys, and definitely jealous at the same time. But good to see everybody, that you make relationships get to the top of the mountain.
Thank you.
Next question from JP Hornstra. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, welcome back. I wanted to ask you about the minor nerve procedure I read that you had on your elbow last July. What was that about, and how long had you been sort of needing that?
Last July of
when you had your 2020.
No, I had no procedures in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Procedures that I had in 2019 was I had before I had surgery to decompress the nerve, I had a hydrodissection of that nerve where they go in and they put like saline solution in between the nerve and the nerve sheath to try and free it up. And that actually, like, I thought that was the key. I thought I was back to normal for like 4 days after that, but it all came back. So that was kind of the linchpin in saying, definitely need to have that surgically cleaned up. But no procedures in 2020. Nothing surgical since I guess September of 2019.
Okay, that's good. And then, as far as when we see you in games, are you expecting to be the same pitcher as far as repertoire, as far as velocity? What can we expect from Brandon Morrow in 2021?
Repertoire, same for sure. Velocity, who knows? Like I said, I haven't thrown a pitch in the major leagues since. I really haven't thrown a competitive pitch since July of 2020. Or 2018. I faced hitters in live BP a couple times, but always had the same shutdown pain in my arm the day after, and never worked out. So I'm also interested to see what those numbers are going to look like when I start to face hitters. But like I said yesterday, to my eyes and to my feel, everything is on track. Whether I get back to throwing 100 miles an hour, I don't know. But I'm 4 years older than I was at that time, and we'll see. Like I said, so far so good.
Thank you.
Next question from Rowan Cavner. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, can you just kind of describe what this last couple of years have been like trying to get, your elbow right, and how important was just the shutdown entirely for the summer, just to kind of get it either mentally or physically?
Shutdown is huge. Like I said, excuse me. It was great for obviously my body and mind as well. Just grind and rehab when things aren't working out is really rough. To go in every day and you just still feel same terrible feeling. After I had the first debridement on the back of my elbow, hoping that that was going to be, it, and coming back in 19, doing all the rehab to get back to facing hitters and feeling decent up until I did face hitters, but then having the same exact thing that I had the year before and trying to find new solutions to that. And, whether it be cortisone injections or like we said, like I just mentioned, the hydro dissection. It's tough. And then coming back in 2020 in spring, I was feeling okay, but it hadn't been, all that much time since the nerve decompression surgery. So still rehabbing, still feeling, tentative, definitely from that. And I think with everything that went down last year, it was just definitely in my best interest to take all that time off.
I got time for one more. Go ahead, Clint. Go ahead, Clint. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, Brandon, welcome back. Yesterday, Doc made the comment that he plans to use you in leverage situations, a leverage reliever. Would you be open to doing long relief or possibly even closing should that situation come up?
I'm open to anything that gets me back pitching in the major leagues. I'll tell you that. I don't know that I haven't done long relief. I haven't thrown more than probably an inning and a third since I started last in 2015. So, I'm definitely capable of it. But it all depends on what you're built up for and what they expect out of you. I think I've always had the stuff and mentality to be a late inning, 1 inning guy. And I've kind of done it all. So yeah, I'm very comfortable in almost every situation, I'd say.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, everybody.